So that GQ cover story, we mentioned it yesterday. It's on Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and it's just another piece on the progressive Democrat as she complains, and the magazine seems to elevate her. She is front and center for the magazine's October issue and making some pretty bold claims in the profile. She said this when she was asked about the potential of a White House bid in her future, quote, "My experience here has given me a front row seat to how deeply and unconsciously, as well as consciously, so many people in this country hate women. And they hate women of color. Misogyny transcends political ideology, left, right, center. I admit to sometimes believing that I live in a country that would never let that happen." Harris, I don't believe I live in a country where left, right, and center hate women, but that's my viewpoint.
Well, my question is, how much time has she been spending? I mean, I know we don't see Kamala Harris very often, but she must have some access to the nation's first black vice president, right? Who's also a woman. I'm just curious, when you hear people like AOC and the so-called squad talking about representation being the thing that's going to change the journey for all of us, I argue that it's coupled with merit. But okay, let's just pretend it's numbers and there's some magic percentage that AOC is waiting for. Then why isn't any of our progress in this country as people of color considered to be part of a positive movement journey? Like, why isn't that happening? Because it is. Stacey Abrams is getting the vocal capability that she has. She's also atop the stage and complaining about sexism. I don't understand.
I don't either. Joe, I also didn't understand this line.
Yeah.
It was right after the misogyny portion. She said, "People ask me questions about the future, and realistically, I can't even tell you if I'm going to be alive in September, and that weighs very heavily on me." I don't know where she thinks she's going.
And as Greg Gutfeld pointed out in the 5 yesterday, it's September. So she's here.
Good point.
Yeah. Look,
doesn't own a calendar either.
You're right. Look, do you know how many legislative accomplishments AOC has since she joined Congress 4 years ago? It's the same number you get when you multiply something by 0, right? It's literally 0. And look, it's probably the most noteworthy thing she's ever accomplished, if you want to call it that, was keeping 50,000 jobs out of her district in Queens when Amazon wanted to go there. And look, this is the same person who wants to argue that unemployment is low because people have 2 jobs, right? Which isn't the way unemployment works. So she's all icing and no cake and all sizzle and no steak. Yet she continues to get profiles like this in GQ more than anybody on Capitol Hill. And it's like she's like the Festivus of Capitol Hill. Every day is a day of grievance, except Festivus is once a year.
Yeah. I'm really hungry now.
Another grievance, I know, right?
Order something in.
Me too. Another grievance we touched on yesterday briefly, Emily, was her grievance with the separation of powers in the Constitution, because she believes one of the impediments potentially if she became president would be the Senate and the Supreme Court, which is not an impediment. It's the way the system works.
That's right. And I think, this is a 32-year-old who's arguing with us and lecturing us as an ideologue on the state of the country and the state of the future. She said in that article that America would never allow a female to be elected, she said, because they hate women. And I just think that it just reeks of her naivety. I don't want to be lectured by a 32-year-old on what she thinks will and won't happen. To your point, why isn't she celebrating the election of Winsome Sears and Myra Flores? Why isn't throughout that article
they're the wrong
celebrating
political party.
her colleagues across the aisle? If she's that much of a champion of women's rights and women's positions, then you would think she would be generous and humble enough to celebrate everyone's elevated position rather than just complaining about the lack of her future one.
Martha,
but again, the vice president, why isn't she celebrating and recognizing that? Because it's not her. It's not AOC.
Right. Martha, another interesting point to the story. I feel like everyone treated me like a one-term member of Congress, she said. There was a very concerted effort from the Democrat side to unseat her, which is peculiar to me because she is one of the kind of glowing, bright young spots of the Democrat Party.
I mean, you know how many members of Congress people have never heard of? And this woman's on the cover of GQ, right?
Yeah.
She has tremendous attention, tremendous opportunity. And your point is exactly right. Maya Flores, Winsome Sears, it's not about women. This has nothing to do with women and women of color. It has to do with which side you're on and whether or not so I guess she's saying that, her party alienates women. Maybe that's what she's saying. Yeah. Nancy Pelosi is the Speaker of the House. Kamala Harris is the Vice President. I think it might have a lot more to do with her policies, why she doesn't always get a great reception on some things, but grow up. Grow up. You're a member of Congress. You're on the cover of GQ. You got a great platform. Go for it. Pass some legislation. Good luck.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.